So Jujutsu Kaisen 0 coming out before the mainline series has had this really funny knock-on effect where after you catch up to the manga, even if you wanted to cut it off at the end of Hidden Inventory and go see how the Geto storyline concludes after he and Gojo part ways in front of the KFC, you would still be consuming a less substantial product with JJK0. Let me explain. So JJK0 didn't have a power system that was fully fleshed out like it would be in the mainline series, so Gege didn't include things like domain expansions. A lot of the characters in Zero are actually on a slightly different power scale than they would be on the mainline series. So I do feel the need to mention this is absolutely just an observation that I find personally amusing, not some kind of JJK0 sucks and here's why video. I think JJK0's story still holds up pretty well, all things considered, so nothing I say in this video is meant to be taken as, negative. So with that disclaimer out of the way, I do think the best example of this phenomena that I'm describing to you actually comes from Geto's depiction in the series. So for some context, one of the biggest things Gege hadn't implemented yet was domain expansions for sorcerers, not even special grades. So no one, including people like Yuta or Gojo, had domain. Geto is another name on this list. So when everybody's fighting during the night parade of 100 demons, everyone is basically on equal footing to some degree, with the Jujutsu high side maybe having a slight edge, not including Yuta and Rika. Now, why this is important for Geto is the fact that he isn't an outlier because he doesn't have a domain in the context of JJK0, but in the context of the mainline series where all the special grades have domains, including Yuta now, it makes it for a very aged like milk kind of moment, as Geto becomes the only special grade to not get grandfathered into the new power system and its new toys. The closest we get is maybe Kenjaku's domain being used in Geto's body, but it's almost unrelated completely to Geto's innate technique. Now you can argue this gap in power was meant to exacerbate the gap between Gojo and Geto now, and to some degree that's true, but then you have to get into the weeds with Gojo's depiction in Zero. Like I said it before and I'll say it again, I don't think Gojo in JJK0 is the undisputed strongest like he is in the rest of the series. I think he's just another really strong special grade, but nobody that's more particularly special than any other special grade in the series, at least not by the huge margin that we know him to be in. And so all of Gojo's dialogue about putting his life on the line to stop Rika, or Geto's lines about his chances shooting up to 99% if he has Rika, knowing full well that Gojo's still on Jujutsu high side, can be explained retroactively by saying Gojo was doing all of this as a test and setup to awaken Yuta's power to Rika. Or B, and this is the most likely scenario, that Gojo wasn't kidding and that it would have actually killed him to take Rika on. Again, this isn't a knock on Gege's writing during JJK0, he was working with the best he got, and the fact that it still holds up this well is nothing short of impressive. Follow me.